Let's continue on this little journey now, shall we? I'm also P6, back to another video, and today I'm reviewing the top 8 what many people consider worst metal albums of all time. Now, it's not really a top 8, it's just 8 albums that I've compiled and see if these are indeed the worst. In my previous video, I did talk about Octagon by Bathory, Diabolus Musica by Slayer, Cold Lake by Celtic Frost, and Dio's Angry Machines. Two of those albums I did enjoy, and two of them I thought were absolute shit. This is almost the same. Not really. No, it isn't. This is probably the dreadful half, and there's an album I'm going to rant about. So please enjoy my little rant here. Anyways, let's get into this video. We're starting off with Risk by Megadeth back in 1999. Dave Mustaine on vocals and lead guitar. David Dicks Out Elfson, and if you guys know, you know. I mean, David literally took the rock out with your cock out meaning a little bit seriously earlier back in May, I believe, when he took unexplicit photos and posted them live on Facebook because maturity and explicit sex. Am I right, folks? That's stupid, David. He's on bass, Marty Friedman on rhythm guitar, and Jimmy DeGrasso on drums. This is what many people consider the worst Megadeth, or second to worst, behind Super Collider. This is probably one of the worst albums I've ever heard in my life. I am not a Megadeth fan whatsoever. There are some songs I do enjoy. I do like Symphony of Destruction, I like Sweating Bullets, and a couple other songs here and there. I don't like Dave Mustaine's vocals. His growls I enjoy, like I kind of like his little raspiness. He sounds atrocious when he does falsetto. He's like, oh my god, Nevin, I can't stand his vocals. But yet I could tolerate King Diamond. Because at least King Diamond, he has at least a certain style to his falsetto. Dave just does it for the hell of it. So Risk. There was a remastered version in 2004, but I did the original one because I wanted to do it the originality. And oh dear in heaven, this is not a good album. I gave this album a chance. There's only one good song, and many people consider it's one of the best Megadeth songs of all time, or say it's the only saving grace off this album. We start off with Insomnia. What the hell was that song? Prince of Darkness. I actually kind of dig this song. It's a bit groovy, but it's a bit cheesy, but you know what? It's fine. I can at least tolerate this. Enter the Arena. It's filler. Crush 'Em. It's only memorable for the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Universal Soldier. Breadline, god awful. It's an albatross of a song. That is terrible. The doctor is calling. Hey, Dave, Rob Zombie called. He wants his song back. I'll be there. Terrible. Wanderlust. It sounds like Bon Jovi. Ecstasy. I'd rather listen to Technical Ecstasy by Black Sabbath than listen to this pile of horse shit. 7. Boring. Time, the beginning, is filler, and Time, the end, is so goddamn generic. Overall, this album gets an F. I would have given it probably a D- only because of Prince of Darkness, but that does not tolerate for this pile of farce that has been behoots to me. Not a good start here, folks. And then it gets worse. Elude the Venom and Sonus by Morbid Angel, released in 2011. David Vincent on vocals. Trey Azagoth on, I'm pretty sure I butchered his name, but I don't care. Trey Azagoth on guitar. Destructo on guitar. And Tim Young on drums. He was basically a session drummer. This is the 8-year gap between Morbid Angel. They released an album back in 2003 called Heretic, and a lot of people didn't like that album. But you know what? After 8 years, let's see how they can rebound themselves. Folks, this is an abortion of a freaking album. Only good thing about this is Tim Young on drums. He sounds like a machine on this album. The instrumentation is fine. David Vincent, what the hell happened? Pete Sandoval has gone on many records and said this is the worst album he has ever done, or worst album he's ever heard. Period. He hates this album. And yet Michael Ackerfeld of Opeth fame manages to like this album. It's very good. I managed to like this. It's very good. I like bullshit. I like random generic ass title names. I don't know if it all. I'm in Opeth. I'm in a prog metal band now. Yeah, Michael, you were pretty good in Bloodbath, and now you're okay in Opeth. This album, what the hell? Seriously, Pete Sandoval got injured, and unfortunately, he couldn't be on this album, which is kind of unfortunate. A lot of other things happened. Steve Tucker left the band because I think he got uninterested after the Heretic, I believe. Then Dave Vincent came back, and he looked, oh my god, he had a cowboy hat. Why? And Destructor from Zycon, I think, he joined the band, and then he left after this album. The only thing that saved Morbid Angel is that they released another album after this. They released Kingdoms of Stain, which is far better than whatever the hell this albatross of an album is. We start off with Omnipotence. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. It's boring. It's a boring instrumental. Too Extreme. Oh my god. How about Pulled My Hair Out? Listen to this song. This is bad. Existals Vulgar. Stupid ass lyrics, but some great drumming by Tim Young. It sounds like Machine Gun Fire on that. And that's basically what death metal should be. It should sound like an army just raining hell on random civilians or random terrorists or whatever the hell. It's World War III, ladies and gentlemen. We're all going to hell one day. I don't even know what I'm on. I'm making more sense than this album did, apparently. Blaze for Bail. This is the only song that Destructor made. Because apparently he had a random Zycon album that he didn't use on his album, and he managed to put it on this piece of shit. Bad. I Am Morbid. What does that mean? I want to die, I want to die, I want to die from this. This album is a terrible album. Ooh, and that's not the worst song on the firing chamber here, folks. 10 More Dead. What does that mean? Destructos versus the Earth is so goddamn cringy. Nevermore. Why? Why is that a thing? Beauty Meets the Beast is god-awful. It is god-awful. Radicult. Marilyn Manson called. He wants his shitty song back. How are you? This is worse than Manson. How is this worse than Manson? Seriously, what you need to do now is pull 2 ribs out and then go to town on your thing like it owns you money. Seriously, folks. How are you managed to be worse than Manson? Manson couldn't release an album this shitty of magnitude. What the hell? Radicult? Are you kidding me? The reason I'm not screaming at this point is because it's very late out and I don't want to wake up my parents. But Jesus Christ on a crucifix, why is this a thing? And Profundus is just god awful. You know what? This is what this God-forsaken album deserves. This album, I swear, I heard this is a terrible album. I didn't think it was that bad. this left a giant shit on the entire Morbid Angel catalog. And I love Covenant. Covenant's probably one of my favorite death metal albums of all time. And after listening to the horse shit like this, I'm surprised Morbid Angel's even be taken seriously in 2021. Guys, don't listen to that album. After Heretic, go immediately to Kingdoms of Satan. You'll thank me. That there's a reason why that is one of the worst metal albums of the past decade and a half. And the fact that it's a decade old shocks me. It terrifies me, folks. This album deserves these two right here. These number ones right here, folks. Let's calm down now. Let's talk about Ozzy Osbourne. Hi, Ozman. How are you doing? After I talked about his arch nemesis and Dio with the pretty badass Angry Machines, people consider Black Rain the worst Ozzy Osbourne album. Either that or Scream, you take your pick. I talked to my good buddy Matt on Discord. He says this album's pretty damn good. He says it's probably the heaviest Ozzy album ever. Matt, if you're watching this, you may be disappointed in what I'm going to say. Ozzy's on vocals and on harmonica, his godson Zakk Wylde on guitar, Rob Blasco Nicholson on bass, and Mike Bordin on drums. We start off with Not Going Away. Meh, it's fine. I Don't Want to Stop, which may sound familiar for my wrestling fans, that it is the 2007 Judgment Day pay-per-view theme. So, yeah, I like it because your boy's a wrestling fan, and if you didn't know, you clearly have been new to my channel or have not watched my playlist yet. It's groovy, and it's fun. The title track is bleh, in my opinion. Later World on Me is pretty somber, and I kind of enjoy it. The Almighty Dollar, the longest track on the album, it's pretty groovy, I will admit. 11 Silver's filler. Civilize the Universe is boring. Here For You is very, very, very somber. It's cheesy, but it's somber. The Countdown's Begun is eh, and Trapdoor's pretty catchy as well. I'm going to give this album a C-. It's not terrible. It's far from the worst Ozzy album, in my opinion. It's not the best, but it certainly ain't terrible. Don't let my grading deceive you, the Antelope Army. The Herd, if you will. It's just meh. It's okay at best. Then we get to Volume 8 by Anthrax, released in 1998. John Bush on vocals, Scott Ian on bass and on guitar and vocals on Cup of Joe. Frank Bello on bass, and he actually does vocals on Pieces. And Charlie Benente, I think that's how you say his last name. He plays drums, but he also plays guitar on a few tracks. This album was a mess. The cover art is god-awful. Seriously, people shit on the Jugulator album with that stupid-ass cover art, and I'll admit that album art's pretty damn terrible. But my god, have you not pixelate much, my good friend? Seriously. This is probably the worst album with John Bush on it. Either that or Stop 442. I don't really know. Now, don't get me wrong. John Bush is an incredible vocalist. Just listen to his shit in Armored Saint. The guy sounds amazing. And hell, Sound of White Noise and We've Come For You All are some of the best metal of probably the last century, in my opinion. Great mixed alternative and some speed, in my opinion. This album has some gems, but it's a lot of forgettable filler, in my opinion. We start off with Crush as a very, very, very cool, crunchy riff. Catharsis, very, very fun to listen. Inside Out's pretty good. Piss and Vinegar, boring. 604, it's not terrible, but it's filler. Toast to the Extras. Why is it country? We're not Load or Reload from Metallica. Born Again Idiot, it's boring. I should mention that it features some riffs and some vocals from Phil Anselmo and Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, which Pantera in the 90s were playing overrated douche rock, in my opinion, aka grunge. Oh, hi Nirvana, or hi Alice in Chains. Oh, how about every grunge band in existence? I didn't see you there. the 90s were ass for metal. The 90s were dead. The metal was dead in the 90s, but there were some kick-ass albums in my opinion. I mean, Jugulator is good, and among other things, but I'm getting off track here. Killing Box is fine. Harm's Way is filler. Hog Tie's filler. Big Fat, like your boy, is boring. Cup of Joe's filler. Alpha Male is eh. Stealing from a Feet is fine. And Pieces is very, very somber. Now, the story behind Pieces is actually Frank Bello's brother getting shot outside his girlfriend's house by an unknown assailant back in '96, and an assailant has never been caught since. And this song, it's very, very sad, and you can hear a lot of emotion being poured out of Frank Bello's incredible vocals. He actually sings pretty good. It's a very sad, sad song, and I thoughts and prayers to Frank Bello, to his brother, and to his family. But yeah, I'm not a huge Anthrax fan. Scott Ian's pretty cool too. I mean, listen to what he did in Stormtroopers of Death. But overall, D, maybe a C-. I'll probably go with D because there's only like 3 good tracks here. The rest of it's a lot of boring filler in my opinion. And again, I don't even know, or it's more filler than a cream donut you find on Sunday when you go to your local gas station. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about this video, guys. What did you guys think of these albums? Did you think of them? Yeah. Did you think they were good or did you think they were bad? Let me know down in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, join the herd. I'll talk to you guys next video. Peace out.